What's up, podcast world? This is Shrouded Realities. Joey, Connor, Steven, and Ruby, the podcast dog's missing today, but she's always part of
I think she's actually a ghost dog.
She's with us in our hearts.
She's in our hearts. She's always in our hearts. Did you say ghost? That's the title of today's episode, is Ghost.
What?
Ooh,
Is
we're
that some-
talking about ghosts today.
Is that a little bit of foreshadowing going on here?
We're talking about ghosts today on the Shrouded Realities podcast. This is going to be a fun one. I don't know. Getting into it, I was scared to death. I hate ghosts. If I have to list a bunch of fears in my life, ghosts is probably one of them. Anybody gets talking about ghosts, and I'm like, nah, I'm out. Out. Ghost movies, out. Ghost stories, nope.
Yo, so let's start it off. Let's get our personal opinion first. Just a quick, do you believe, do you not believe, where are you sitting at? You know, just to see where this conversation is going to go. So, Joey, spit us with a paragraph.
My opinion actually changed while researching this. If oddly enough, I didn't really believe. My opinion coming into this was ghosts are not real. Any thinking of ghosts or people that think they seen ghosts, it was more of a demon tricking people. That's what I was coming into this. But I found some stuff that changed my mind this week.
I'll agree. I don't know that I was completely in the no category coming into it. I think everybody kind of has a picture in their head of a ghost, and that's kind of what they think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Think of with it is, a white sheet floating around, and that's definitely not where I came away from after this week of doing our due diligence here.
Yeah, or a little bit of idiot research.
Well, our due diligence is we were on the internet and
YouTube.
and now I'm convinced.
What about you, Connor?
I, as you know, as a young lad, watching Ghost Adventures and all kinds of ghost shows and just being delved into it, I'm already in that mindset.
Yeah.
But as I've grown older, it's like, to me, it made more sense that it was more demonic, evil spirits. If you come in contact with something, it usually isn't a good thing.
Stay away from it.
Stay away from it. Yeah. But from personal experiences and whatnot, I believe there's something that we can't see that's moving around us.
I just picture Casper, man. That's all I think about. It's just
Casper, the murderous ghost, because it ain't friendly.
Dude, he's friendly. I've watched the movie.
He said, "Hey, bro, just let me in your body real quick.
Friendly ghost.
Let me borrow it for a minute."
Yeah, it's not weird unless you think about it.
That's right.
Really.
And Bible does talk about things, spirits coming in and possessing, and
it does. That is discussed. We'll probably find some of those verses here as we go along.
Yeah. So yes or no, ghost.
What are we calling
ghost? Don't put it
I was about to say we need a definition here.
No,
Yeah.
just
Are we
straight
saying
up.
ghost as just like a thing we can't see, but maybe manipulates things in our world that we can't
Okay,
see?
let's do this. Let's say
Spirits?
everyone that says they've seen ghosts were deceived, or there really are spirits, dead spirits, roaming the earth.
People's spirits, not an evil
That's
spirit.
right. People's spirits.
People spirits.
Like my
Out. Nope.
great grandma's rolling around.
Nope.
No,
I'm out on that.
I don't think I can hang out with
I
that.
think it can impersonate your great grandma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could impersonate that. Do I think that that's what it is? Nah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's So what kind of research did you do this week?
The research I've done is just watching TV shows. Really, just hate watching stuff.
Ghost
just
Adventures?
That's my go-to. That's my mainstream.
So I got some opinions on Ghost Adventures.
Okay.
Why does ghost story shows? Why do they wear black all the time? They're just
I had that same thought, but I think it's because of the infrared. I think it shows up different on the infrared.
I think it's a scam.
Oh
You think it's just
I
like
think it's a scam. It's
The
like
infrared.
I'm
Do you think-
scary. I'm a
Do you think
scary ghost
it's like a
hunter.
like a gothic,
yeah.
So we're picking up on the infrared
yeah.
ghosts.
They don't want to
Is
wear
that their-
white because
so
they might think that they're ghosts.
Let me
You know what
back
I'm
up. I'm completely ignorant to ghost stories, ghost adventures, that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
That was like growing up. I had zero interest in any of that,
Yeah,
and today I have zero interest in it because it is bullcrap. I can't do it. I've
Yeah.
watched like 30-second clips of it. And I'm like, this is garbage. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
do it.
It's
When
like-
you think like these people have to make money, it's like when they tie it in, it's like they have to make content.
These people have to make money,
They have
and they're
to make
just
something.
making stuff up. They are walking. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I heard it. There's a ghost in here.
but it didn't pick up on my camera.
It didn't pick up on my camera.
Touched my butt.
Yeah, it touched
Yeah.
me.
No, I'm out.
Come on. I feel faint. I feel flushed right now.
It just got cold in here. There's a
just got
cold pocket.
There's a cold spot.
Do you feel that cold pocket?
The
Yeah.
ghost's just like, oh yeah, keep your hand there.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I'm calling BS on like every bit of it.
that
But
is-
okay, ew, I gotta say that we got ghost stories.
No,
each
I
of us.
don't have a
I
ghost
got it. I'm
story.
Steven don't have a
I'm
ghost
gonna keep
stories.
this podcast afloat with mine.
You've got ghost stories. I don't personally have ghost stories, but I'll just go ahead and tell my ghost story, I guess.
Let's go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get there.
Savannah, Georgia, trip with my wife, anniversary. She says she's into this kind of thing. She thinks it's fun. And I was like, nah. She wants to go to haunted house.
It's always women that want to get in touch with the spirit
Yeah.
side.
They're always like, yeah, we
Like,
need in that.
Yeah,
We don't want none
it's
of
like
that.
it's either stones, like like
crystals,
or it's
Yeah.
ghosts.
Crystals.
gems.
Using their, what is it, essential oils and then rubbing a crystal on your head kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
never
a good one
you
too.
never hear your bro coming to you and be like, hey,
Dude, have you
It's
put some
usually just-
peppermint on your forehead today?
It's usually just steroids. That's the go-to with in the man world. But
Yeah.
in the women, it's like crystals and spirits.
Yeah.
I'll start checking up on y'all with those essential oil use if you want me to. Make sure y'all are getting your honeydew melon on your foreheads
Yep.
before you come to work.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
You do that with me, not be
Put on-
friends.
put it on
That's
your-
weird. That's weird.
Got to keep your third eye open.
That's right.
But anyway, so we Savannah, Georgia anniversary trip. She wants to do a ghost house tour. Supposedly, Savannah is like one of the most haunted areas in the United States. So,
Why is that? Because of the Civil War?
yeah, there's a lot of war and fighting and
Okay.
old. I think too is a lot of it. They've got a lot of old architecture still there. A lot of the old buildings, like from the original, United States becoming
Ghosts
a
are
thing.
obviously trapped in them.
That's
Yeah,
right.
They can't get out of
We'll
it.
get into that in a
Yeah.
minute. That's a weird.
Well, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
That's a weird
It was
subject.
there. I had to
Drop it in.
Yeah.
drop that.
So we go to this one of the more haunted, supposedly houses, and we're taking the tour. Oh, before we get to the tour, we had to go. I had to get pretty drunk just to
just to
get
do
my
it.
courage up. Yeah, because I'm like, no,
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
into this. So we go.
Start fist fighting ghosts.
Yeah,
out
we
there.
go eat, and I'm pounding a few just to get the courage up to go. And we go, and I said I was acting like an idiot, talking really loud and making stupid jokes the whole time. So
It's like I'm really scared right now.
and that's a big part of this story. I'm not just
You were
talking about.
anxiety drunk.
I was anxiety drunk. 100%.
So you had the mixture of being really anxious and really drunk,
Yep.
and that's your least favorite person most of the time.
No,
Yeah.
and then
I love
like
it.
walking into a supposed haunted house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're like, if I see a ghost, I'm choking it out.
Yeah,
I'll kill that ghost. You watch me.
I ain't scared.
I'll choke him.
So,
Shivering.
and that's a big part of this story. So we go through the tour, and they're, ooh, this is scary. Huh? Ooh, this person died in this room. Ooh, all that mess, and we get about it's probably about halfway through, and we're downstairs in the supposed basement where there was supposedly a hospital back in the day or whatever, and my wife and all those beers hit me pretty quick.
Yep.
I had to pee like a racehorse. So I tell the tour guide, "Hey man, I gotta pee. Where'd I go pee?" She said, "You gotta go across the street." I told my wife, I said, "You good? I gotta go. Like I'm fixing
You
to
got
go
to walk through the haunted house
by myself."
yourself.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Better watch out.
Anyway, nothing happened with that. But so I run across the street, go pee. Left my wife alone on the tour. Come back. So after the tour is over, she's like, "I had a ghost experience." I said,
Oh.
Did she say it with a smile on her face, or was she shook up?
"No, she was a little shook up. She,
Okay.
A little white in the
Alright.
face.
yeah, she wouldn't even tell me there because she thought I'd like pull out and run, and I would have
Yeah.
if she says, "Hey,
Would have made a far your trip and like, where am I?
yeah, I don't care how much we paid for this. I'm gone." But and she's right. I would have. So she said that there was a part of in the basement downstairs. They said that the ghost would touch or steal jewelry. So secure your jewelry is what the ghost tour guide said. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So,
Was he gonna take
but
to the pawn shop?
she was standing like
It's
it,
going to float to the
the
pond.
ghost.
Yeah.
The ghost pawn.
yeah. They got like a little stash of jewelry. Like. Anyway, but she said that of course I wasn't there, so she was standing alone in a doorway. Everybody else is in the room in front of her, and she feels somebody beside her, and her ear lobe move, like touched her earring, and she thought it was me. She thought I got back and snuck around, just kind of trying to scare her, give her a little goose, and she jerked and turned, and of course nobody's there.
Mm.
So
So definitely a ghost.
Definitely, maybe subliminal messaging. You know, people
Could be
they
that.
planted
Could
that
be
in their
that
head.
was that might have been a little
They were setting
foreshadowing
it
there
up.
too. And
Yeah.
then the wind blows and you go, that was it.
Oh, that was a ghost.
Yeah.
I
Your
love that.
muscle twinges just a little bit.
Yeah.
I love that the ghost steals your jewelry. What's it do with it?
Right? Doesn't wear it.
He goes and stores it in Davy Jones'
Yeah.
locker or
Takes it
something.
and hides
What's
it.
this guy doing?
Hides it between the
Shares
studs
it
of
with
the
his
wall.
ghost friends. He's like, they're just balling out here, just gold chains.
So are they just saying like you're in a house where a bunch of people are murdered? Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, there was a slave girl that was murdered. The wife killed herself because her husband was cheating on her with a slave girl, and it was like a whole big long story.
Has
But
anybody ever explained like why they're trapped in a house? Like if that kind of isn't the ghost thing, right?
yeah, then it's
It's like you can float through floors, but you can't float.
I can't get out
to
of here.
us.
Like there's a barrier. There's like a ghost barrier outside. Like
How
I
much
can't
that,
go
that
out there.
would suck too if you were just in a house.
I mean, that would just like there forever.
Just like-
Dadgummit.
and if I'm a ghost, I'm roaming the world. You're not eating. You're not sleeping.
No, it's
I'm
like-
going to.
You have to buy a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Like, you're golden.
I'm going everywhere.
I mean, you can take your time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it even if it takes forever. I mean, you're a ghost.
Yeah. What's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen? You're already
You're gonna
dead. So
die.
might
Yeah.
as well go see it. you
So why
know?
are they always tied to like one place?
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Like
I
why is there ghost hotspots?
They've got a ball and chain inside of this. I don't get it.
They, they always speak English too. It's never another language.
Yeah. You know what? I've never thought about that, but you're right.
You ever see the show sitcom Ghost? I think it's on CBS.
I haven't.
It's
no.
pretty funny, but it jokes on stuff like that. They've got like this invisible boundary, and they'll show them like walking to the edge of the boundary, and they just poof, they reappear. It's like, oh, I can't go too far. I'm a ghost. I got to stay here.
I'm glad to know that other people's thought about that then,
Yeah.
because I was like, why are they locked in? I don't get
Right.
it.
Like, you'd rather be here in this busted home.
busted head at home.
Just saying, they'd be like the most messed up houses, like no windows, no doors. They're just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
That's it.
This is where I died. This is where I want to stay. Yeah,
We can come back to that in a little bit. I've got some Bible verses actually that talk about that a little bit. So
okay.
talks about staying where you died at.
it talks about how you don't, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any more stories from your?
Yeah, that's the only one. Well, I don't want to tell who in my family, but I've got family members that have some stories. One of my family members seen one and driving down the road, past a shadowy white figure on the side of the road. They pass them in the car, look in the rearview mirror, and nobody's there. Maybe. We'll see. And then
Could have been a sheet that flew off a truck about 10 miles down.
yeah, yeah,
floating down.
They did say this was a famous one though, like in town. Like this ghost has a name, so you know.
I
Maybe.
walk this lonely road as a ghost. I am on my own.
Come on,
I
just
mean, yeah, I
now.
did. Yeah.
So this ghost walked the road, right?
Yeah.
So is he locked into a barrier too, or can he just?
Is he on? Is he on?
She.
On I-95 for the rest of her life?
Like you just hit that certain point, it's like dadgummit, just turn around. I guess.
You hit,
I mean,
you
like,
hit exit 68. You're like, this is as far as I can go.
because
I
if
gotta
that's the
turn
case,
around.
if that's the case, and I get murdered and I turn into a ghost, do it outside.
Yo.
Because you better do it outside. Because I don't want to be stuck in this house for the rest of eternity.
What if you? So what
You
if,
better kill
So
me
what if you get
outside,
killed
buddy.
outside, but there's a fence around you?
Well, I'm just saying, if
Can you go
if
through the
we're
fence?
if we're going through this, let's at least lock me in to the outside. And that would be my request to my murderer. Hey, dude, look, you're gonna do it. That's fine, but let's at least go outside so I'm
Yeah.
not stuck
It's
inside
like,
this
let me
house
tell you my
forever.
conspiracy before you kill me,
Yeah.
just so you know where I'm at, man.
Hey, this might save somebody. Just be like, look, man, hey, kill me outside, and then somebody finds you before he kills you.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the way to do
Hey,
it.
look, I'm really weird about where I die, so I just need to make sure.
I understand you're gonna kill me, but please just
Just
go
hope,
out here.
just hope you have a considerate.
Yeah.
serial
We're gonna have
killer.
to. We're
That's
gonna have
normally
to,
how
we're gonna
that
have
works.
to kill 30 seconds before you kill me.
Yeah.
Let's go outside.
Let's go outside.
Let's go outside.
Come on. I won't scream and yell. I promise. I just,
Right.
I just don't want
I
to be a
won't.
ghost
I
trapped
just
in this gross house.
Like, this dude's weird. I'm not going near this guy.
When the serial killer looks at you and goes,
You're weird.
You're a weird guy, man."
Yeah.
Well, Connor, what you got?
Where should I start? Let me before I get to my big one.
All right,
Let me
yeah.
start small.
Just sprinkle some in a little bit. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, from childhood, I think maybe when was it? It was about maybe 8 or 9. I used to live with my grandma, and so did my cousin, and our grandpa was, freshly deceased for a few years. I would say that's still fresh, but we used to sleep in the same bed together as kids with our grandma, and my cousin had never had any he had never talked about ghosts or anything, so he was never in that headspace of already thinking about it.
Right.
And I remember one night we used to sleep with the TV on, and he woke up screaming, saying that Grandpa was in the doorway, legit in tears, crying, and woke everybody in the bed up.
And how old was he?
He was a little bit older than I was. Yikes! I mean, maybe we were young. Maybe I was 6, 7. Maybe he was 8 or 9. But that was kind of the start of
Your
ghosts,
mind getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. So fast forward, I'm 12, 13, and with my other grandma, we used to always watch Ghost Adventures, eat pizza. It was like watching a movie. I never invested a lot of time into it until me and her actually started going to haunted places.
Yeah.
So where it started was the Queen Mary that was stationed in Coronado, which I don't think it's there anymore, but supposedly it was a ship used during World War II for injured and casualties during World War II. Mm-hmm. And it was supposedly haunted. So that was kind of my first investigation as a teenager,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
You went in looking for him.
oh, big time.
Yeah.
So I think we were on there for 2 days. I found nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Every picture I took, whatever orb there was, it was just water spots, water stains on metal furniture, and
Oh man, those
rails.
ghosts. Those ghosts.
No, I didn't experience anything, which is odd. I mean, of all places, I should have experienced something there
Yeah.
because
Super haunted.
it was a violent time in history. You know, people died violent deaths. It should have been active, but it wasn't.
So you can get tied to, according to you can't get tied to boats.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
get tied to a house. Maybe get tied outside, but
yeah, not the
That's
boats.
right.
not the boats.
It's international water. Doesn't count.
International waters is different. You're in a different tax code out here, so it's
Now, in Ghost World, that would be worst case scenario to get killed out on the open ocean.
oh yeah. If you're locked in on just open ocean, you're just floating around. You can't even scare anybody. out there.
Yeah,
You just look at sharks all day.
It's dadgummit.
not even.
Yeah, look at
Just
that shit.
make shark buddies while you're out there. And
Yeah.
you're just all right.
That's pretty creepy though,
It is.
especially the kid one. I hear a lot of kid ghost stories.
I've heard that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They'll see. I wish I would ask my family members, but I think I've got a story where my niece knew that my grandmother had died before.
Yeah, I've got one
anybody
like
told
that
her.
too. Like they'll see a picture and they'll know who it is.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Yeah.
No one's told you. Are you sure no one's told you anything? So that one's, unless it happens to me with my kids, they say if they see a picture of my mom and say that's your mom, it's okay, I'm freaked.
Yeah.
I'm freaked out.
Yeah,
you
my
know?
son did
Yeah.
have Jackson. My son Jackson, he did have a invisible friend named Grandpa, which is super creepy.
But was he just an invisible friend, or was he?
We don't
Did
know.
you have a
I-
dead grandpa at that point?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
so
we
that
got-
would be weird.
we all
That
got-
just
we all-
does take
we all
some
got
of the
guidance.
weird out of it a little
Yeah.
bit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
like
mean,
it wasn't like he.
Maybe he just
somebody-
really liked his granddad,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm gonna have a friend who's also my granddad."
That's an old guy.
Yeah,
That's the creepy part.
I was about to
Why
say,
you gonna
that's a
have
little
Why you gonna
weird.
have an invisible friend?
got a
that's
weird
Right.
lisp. This guy's got a weird lisp.
with chains wrapped around him?
Yes, yes.
like his head is disformed, It's just
Yeah, he's got a
walks with a
lisp when he talks to you.
he walks with a I walk with a little.
We're getting off the rails. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fast forward. This is, I wouldn't say this is so much paranormal, but it scared me. But it was my first encounter with sleep paralysis, and I actually hallucinated during that. So
wow.
do you know? It's from the movie The Grudge, or I think it's just called Grudge.
I know which one you're talking
Well,
about.
there's a scene where the long black hair would be coming out of somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I experienced in the sleep paralysis. I remember I couldn't move, couldn't do nothing. I just remember seeing black hair out of the corner of my room, flowing, and it was terrifying because you can't do anything. You're conscious, but your body isn't.
was he alone in the room?
Big time. It was my room. Doors closed, lights off. I
don't
see
need
this
it.
thing.
Once it let me go, I'd have to change my pants.
Yeah,
That would be-
but getting on to now, like, paranormal stories that, like, I remember completely and have happened in then, like, the last 5-6 years. I'd start with when I'd go back home and visit in Kentucky. We'd stay at a house with a relative, and this was when my son was younger, and he slept in a pack and play, so he was contained.
Yeah.
And he slept on the end of the bed, far enough where he couldn't reach the bed with his hands. So that's important to the story.
Okay.
But I think this happened. There was two events that happened back to back, a day apart. The first night, me and my wife were sleeping in the bed, and I remember feeling something grabbing my toes, and I wasn't fully asleep yet.
Come on.
I swear.
Come
and I always
on.
sleep with the blanket over my head. That's how I sleep.
Because like, you're scared of the ghost.
No. Yeah. I don't want to open my eyes and see something there. But I always sleep like I'm dead. My wife always makes fun of me because, like, she says, like, I sometimes have, like, my arms, like, crossed and, like, I'm sleeping, like, straight like a board.
You look
Like a-
like you're
like
in a casket.
Like Dracula.
But I'm so used to sleeping with my head, the blanket over my head because I keep all the light out. But I remember I was like starting to doze off, but not too far gone to where like I couldn't remember or like stuff wouldn't start make sense. Yeah. But I remember just something tugging on my toes, and I remember throwing the blankets down and like looking around, and there's just nothing.
Was that your son's invisible friend, you think?
Yeah.
Grandpa?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope
Was it Grandpa that got him?
And, I was hoping to wake up and like seeing him like grab my toes, but there was nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The next night, the kids in bed again. I'm laying down. The light's staying on because my wife said don't turn the light off yet until she comes to bed. So I'm just laying there, closing my eyes, and I'm less asleep than I am from the night before.
Yeah.
And like I'm just eyes closed, and I hear flick, like the actual light switch flick off.
Yep.
And the lights turn off. And so I was like, whoa. I stayed in bed. I didn't want to do nothing. And my wife comes and is like, why'd you turn the lights off? I was like, I didn't. I didn't. And like, it wasn't like the bulb went out. The light switch was flicked.
See, this is why I was scared of this episode.
Yeah. Joey's not going to sleep tonight.
not
He's going to be
sleeping for a
scared there's
week.
going to be a
So
god.
I saved
grabbing his
the big one for you. This is the big one.
That wasn't the
Okay.
big one?
That was not the big one. This
All
one,
right.
this one's
Nice.
even bigger. Okay.
Strap in, Joey.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Not until afterwards.
All right. Go with it.
But this was I think Christmas of 2019, I believe. No, 2018. And
So this is fairly recent.
fairly recent, Christmas of 2018. So whenever my mom passed away, I got this thing. It's like a little wind chime thing. It's like miniature wind chimes attached to this thing that has quotes on it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept it. You know those cubicles that you can put cubicle storage in?
Like a cube organizer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we kept the
Yeah.
organizers
like
out.
the
And
cloth,
just,
like
yeah.
a cloth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
But we kept those out and just put stuff inside the cubes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this thing was up against the wall. Like the cube organizer was against the wall, and we had this memorial thing inside the cubicle. So it was kind of you could only get to it from one side. It was closed on the back, top side, except for the front, and it was pushed back inside.
I'm getting really freaked out right now.
So
yeah, we see where it's going already.
So, you know, at the arsenal, they blow stuff up, and just down the road, like we were in a little trailer that would blow side to side, you know. And, like it would move pots, pans, it would move all kinds of stuff. And this little wind chime thing never was affected by those bombs going off. It was never affected by the AC, never affected by fans. And on Christmas morning, my wife was getting out of bed, getting dressed, and I was still in bed, starting to wake up, and we hear a little like the wind chimes kind of touching each other.
Yeah.
And my wife turns to me, she's like, "Did you hear that?" And I wake up, and I look over and look at the thing, and like not even 3 seconds later, it was like hit, like moved. The wind chimes were like moved.
Whoa, while you're looking at it.
While I'm looking at it, we're moved, and I'm like, I pop up, I'm like, whoa, what? Like I'm still comprehending what I'm looking at,
Yeah,
you know.
Sure, yeah.
So after it's done, I start to try to debunk it. I'm like pushing the organizer. Nothing's happening.
Trying to make it.
Like recreate what just happened. And I couldn't. Like I tried blowing on it. Like I have to get right up to it, like to move it.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it. That was one that was like what like tripped me out.
Did your wife see it, or did she
Yeah,
just
we
hear
both
it?
saw it at the same time.
So she's seen it.
We both
move.
saw it at the same time.
Ah.
Okay, so that experience happened. What's your takeaway from that today?
I don't know, honestly.
Have you processed that at all and thought, like, what could this be?
I've tried to.
So you mentioned your mom passed away. Do you think that might have?
I like
something to do
I
with it?
like to think like Christmas morning. It was like almost like a Merry Christmas from heaven. You know,
Sure.
That was Christmas.
that was
morning?
Christmas morning. Like I was waking up Christmas morning.
After your mom passed away.
She had passed away a couple years
Okay.
prior.
Okay.
And this wind chime thing has never like, and all the places that I've lived and I've taken it with me, it has never done this,
Wow.
and it hasn't since. And I keep it on my dresser.
Interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah. See, not all ghost stories are
No.
scary. Like
No.
boo. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I've heard other stories too of people like
Where it was
being comforted by
sure.
spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Same family member that's had all these other experiences had another one of those stories where something was going on and
Yeah.
she was grieving and came to her in a dream and said, "It's okay, I'm fine."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any ghost stories at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never had anything where I went, "Yep, that was definitely this." You know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't either. I've just got
Yeah,
picked
me
up-
Like any kind
myself-
of like weird thing that happened, you just kind of write it off as like happenstance, or is it like
I've
you've never
got
had
weird
anything
things
Yeah.
weird things that's happened. I don't know that it relates to this episode as much for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have a couple for some later episodes that of just weird things that I can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
paranormal, but maybe not ghost.
Yeah, it's weird. I've got some weird ones. I'm excited to tell those, but that's not for this one.
I have another like throwaway story that I've just remembered. But back in Kentucky, in West Point was a used to be like a I don't know if it was, I think it was a Union, either Union or not. I think it was Union stronghold during the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little raggedy town in Kentucky, off of Louisville, and me and my wife and someone else was in this tiny house. It was like maybe less than 500 square feet. It was like a just tiny house, and we were in the kitchen talking, and it was at nighttime. And I remember it was quiet, and like within that silence, I just hear like a man's like grunt, right? And I'm used to like hearing water like in the walls, and used to hearing like AC kicking on, used to hearing like drafts or anything. But it came out of the back room, just like a.
Yeah.
And we kind of just like wrote it off, but like I remember it like raised the hair on my neck, and like we all looked and was like, "There's nothing back there." Like,
So I mentioned before, I'm not really a ghost guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in like necessarily a person coming back.
Yeah.
I don't believe that at all. My personal thing. But I do believe that there are things that are, I would call them spirits
Okay.
more so than ghosts.
yeah,
I mean, you go biblical a little bit on this, and there was stuff that existed. And
Yeah.
it's documented in the Bible.
That kind of
this.
explains.
when the Nephilim,
That kind of explains.
I mean,
it.
Nephilim were banished as evil spirits, right?
Oh,
They said that
you're-
about.
you pulling
Yeah.
one of mine out here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I'm
We're
only
on the
saying
same
that.
page.
I'm only saying that because in Ghost Adventures there was an episode that I saw something, was like, "What the crap?" It was somewhere in Arkansas, but they talked about somebody was talking about giants with red hair, like the
Don't be like
spirits.
that. Don't be like
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying.
Just
And
because I've got red hair, not everything is that.
you're not
man.
giant though, so there's that.
No.
But the fact that they were talking about that kind of like connected my two worlds there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was actually listening to a podcast this week, and one of the guys mentions the Nephilim. His theory. I don't know if I'm 100% on it or not, but he said his theory is that the Nephilim, when they died, whether in the flood or after, that their spirits were banished to the earth as evil spirits.
Mhm.
So his whole thing is, if you were born on the earth as a Nephilim or an evil spirit, then that spirit is now stuck to the earth. So I guess at the same time, maybe you're stuck to a house. I don't know. But that's his theory, is that that's the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the spirits we're seeing or experiencing
probably not too good.
Or well,
Yeah.
there were some good Nephilim, wasn't there?
Was there? I don't know that, but
I think I remember when we was talking about Enoch that there was.
they're coming from some pretty bad
They
situation.
did come
but,
from bad
yeah.
situation, but I think there was like some that were out for evil and some that were like they made a bad choice.
And what makes them evil? Like them being separated from God makes them evil, or them being bad makes
their
them
intentions,
evil?
yeah.
Okay.
Their intentions. I think
I have no idea.
We're just scratching the surface on
Yeah.
Enoch and Nephilim and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
this will probably require a little bit more research because I don't know what I believe on
Yeah.
this. The Nephilim died and now there's spirits are stuck here. I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
I've noticed that like all the spirits these people catch are like these spirits are like white people. Like it's only white people that are catching. Like
The one in Savannah that we went to, one of the ghosts was supposed.
I'm saying like voices, like voices.
Oh, okay.
When they catch voices, it's like just like a.
You talking about on
old
Ghost
English.
Adventures again? Are we?
Yeah,
Oh, come on.
going back.
They're all speaking King James English.
Yep. It's like how
Thee
convenient.
needs to get out of thy house.
From
So-
coast to coast, it's like the same spirit.
So, Stephen, you brought up biblical stuff. You got anything that ties
So I've
biblical
got.
verses that can explain some of this?
I know
at least a
you've
little?
got.
I do have one.
You've got one. One that I have is out of Job. And the commentary I found says, when people die, they die. They cannot communicate from beyond the grave. And I think that ties into your story a little bit
Yeah.
in 1 Samuel.
Yeah.
But the reference to that is in Job 7, 9, and 10. It says, as clouds vanish and is gone, so one goes down to the grave, does not return. He will never come to his house again. His place will know him no more. So that to me says that, yeah, there's probably things out there. You probably don't need to be messing with it.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. You kind of dancing with some,
Yeah, you get into
dancing with the devil a little
seances
bit.
and- That's why I was touchy. Even
I don't even like being honestly, this conversation makes me a little uncomfortable.
extremely.
Yeah.
That's why I said I was scared to death of this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I think for me anyway, like I've had to before. Like this is gonna sound weird, but like if I've ever felt uncomfortable in my house, I literally just call on to Jesus. I'm like, cleanse this house.
Okay.
Like and it may be like me just being schizophrenic, but I'm like,
No.
whatever's here, if you're here, you're not allowed here.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me
And
feel
I've
better.
done that. I've done that too.
Yeah.
I don't
Like-
think that that's crazy at
Like
all.
I have to trust my body's instinct of like whatever I'm feeling. Like I have to listen to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like you can't just be sitting there and just have like a weird like someone's watching me feeling.
Yeah.
And like not tap into that. Like why am I feeling this way?
I don't think that's your body. I think that's your spirit that's
Yeah.
giving you that alert of like, nah,
Holy Spirit saying
something's
something's
bad.
up.
Yeah.
Something's bad. Yeah. Holy Spirit's knocking, going, no.
Yeah. And I don't know a whole lot about Catholicism, but they do exorcisms and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and it talks about exorcisms in the Bible.
Yeah.
Pretty blatantly.
Well, Mark 5.
Yeah.
Demon possessed man. Jesus showed up and he said, the demon spoke to him and said, why are you here to torment me before our time?
Yeah.
I mean, and he cast him out into pigs.
Yeah.
And then the pigs went nuts.
Yeah. So it was a physical.
It was something in this man that he cast out.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I mean, I've never met anybody possessed, but then again, it's like
you may have and you never knew it.
yeah, I say it may have been
Yeah.
hidden so well,
Yeah.
When it comes like with, we gotta look at addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics, maybe people are
Yeah.
tendency to commit violence,
Yeah. Maybe that drug. That drug's kind of like the open door for
Yeah.
Like
evil spirits to get in.
Sure.
Because your guard's down. You're obviously not praying for guidance, like you said, or protection.
Mm-hmm. It's like you're
So-
just like this open pit and ready for demons to jump in and do
Hop right
cannonball.
Yeah. Steven, I know, you've watched it a few times. The movie Nefarious.
Yeah.
They kind of touch on that.
Strongly suggest that movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie and it kind of gives you a whole different insight on how we look
Demonic.
at things and how demonic
Mm-hmm.
presences kind of work.
Yeah.
And
It's not a true story, is it? But
it's not a true story. It's a fictional story, but the whole premise is to just make you think and go, maybe we've had this wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great lines in that movie. If you've not watched it, I strongly suggest everybody watching that movie.
Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I have to watch it.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
good
you need to find that. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's on everything, but it's a a Christian horror movie. That sounds weird, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it scary. I would call it probably more of a
I would call it
thriller.
scary.
I would call it a thriller.
Like scary is like it's like they turn around and there's something in your face.
It's
There's
not
a
jump
couple-
scare. It's
there's
not
a couple.
jump. Oh, okay.
There's
Well,
a couple.
yes, for people like Joey, it is terrifying.
Yeah, I'm a wuss. Complete wuss.
Golly.
I'd said that from the beginning. I don't like ghost stuff, but and the demonic kind of takes it to a more realistic, scary for me.
Yeah, no,
You
for
know,
real.
Like I feel like
Well, he mentioned in the movie how it had to be invited.
yeah,
I mean, you have to really seek that
be looking
out.
for it.
And
Calling
he said
onto
it was a number of times that had to be really invited before they were able to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how accurate that is necessarily. But
I mean, it makes sense if you're like doing, seances and on
Yeah,
that
if
Ouija
you're-
board, if you're like trying to
Yeah.
contact it.
So that segues into my my Bible story that I found, 1 Samuel chapter 28. King Saul actually sought out a medium. New King James Version actually calls her a medium to bring up the spirit of Samuel that just recently died, so he can get guidance from Samuel.
and he didn't have good news.
It didn't have good news, and it didn't end well for him.
Yeah.
I'll read the verse 9. The woman said to him, "Look, you know what Saul has done. How has he cut off the mediums from the spirit and the spiritist from the land?" So Saul cast out the mediums and spiritists, but then he went out looking for her, and she's like, "Why are you calling me back?"
Yeah. She was a little confused as to like, hey, didn't you just kick me out of here? What's going on?
Then the woman says, then the woman said, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" He said, "Bring up Samuel for me." So she did, and I'll paraphrase because it's a long chapter, but go read it. 1 Samuel chapter 28. But she calls up Samuel. Samuel, it says he come up out of saw the
Comes
spirit
up.
ascending out of the earth, is what it said.
That's an interesting line to me.
Yeah.
He's
Why
ascending.
is he ascending? Out of
Why
the
is he
earth?
ascending out of the earth?
It
That's
come-
interesting.
yeah. So ascending means to go up. So it came up out of the earth. Interesting translation here. Let me switch over to regular King James, verse 13.
That's so much easier if you're in if you're in the regular King James.
just King James. So it had a different way of saying it. It said the where'd it go? Anyway, it said gods came out of the ground.
Little G, right?
Little G, but it still came up,
Does that give some credence to the Nephilim conversation there a little bit to you?
being trapped in the earth.
Being trapped on the earth. Yeah.
It does.
To me, that, and we discussed in Enoch a little bit how these people the Nephilim may have been considered gods in a lot of areas because of their,
Unstoppableness.
well, yeah, to humans for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah, and in this passage, it does it said the description was as Samuel, but it doesn't say it was Samuel. So it could have been
Anything.
an
Could have been
impersonation,
impersonating.
and the medium didn't know what Samuel looked like. So it's kind of
I
like
wonder if it's a trick a little bit.
yeah,
I wonder if it's a teasing you a little bit to try to communicate with whatever that is.
yeah,
That's why they impersonate.
right.
I kind of
They wanna
wonder if
bring
that's
you
a
in.
way of like,
Makes you trust it.
and that's why there's some of these endearing stories a lot of times. I wonder if that's like
Makes you get closer to the
it might let you get closer to that. Not saying that moment wasn't endearing, but if they know you're going through a tough time and you've got that tendency, are they trying to tease you into that a little bit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, talk a little more.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, look for it.
Like we mentioned the other day, the Trojan horse. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like, "Hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It's a
Come
nice.
seek me
It's a
out.
nice spirit.
Talk to me more.
I'm a nice spirit.
Get out your Ouija board. Let's talk."
Yeah.
And then before you know
Sacrifice a lamb. For
yeah.
him.
Before you know it, you're
Draw
tattooing
the-
pentagrams on your arm.
Yeah.
Roll a pentagram.
But I don't know. That's just a thought that I've had in this moment. But
Yeah.
it clearly says once they're dead, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
And you need to stay away from it.
And even in this scenario with Samuel and Saul, the Saul was asking what he should do in this war that he was fighting, and the spirit said it's not going to end well for you, pretty much. And
He said you're gonna be dead too.
you're going to lose everything. And of course that did happen. I continued reading in the book, but he does lose the war, he does lose his land, and then he killed himself, and his sons killed themselves. So
Golly.
yeah, so him doing a seance didn't work out too well for him.
No, did not.
That's not a good situation.
Let's be quirky and talk to a ghost. Oh, I lost everything.
Yeah, I lost my
Oops.
I lost my entire kingdom and my kids and my life.
Yeah, it's
Golly.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of on the like the good ghost stories like yours. You know, like it was probably creepy, but you know it's
It could have been worse. It could have been creepier.
Yeah,
It could have been. And the fact that he used something of memorabilia,
yeah.
But then again, that was like the only thing to move, I guess. I mean, I don't know, was gonna throw a remote off the shelf? I don't know,
Yeah.
like pull the
I don't know.
sheets off the bed.
Let me tell you, if I saw something just randomly throw a remote off a shelf, I would freak out.
Yeah,
I'd be
I
like,
mean-
what is that? I'm definitely not going to try to mess with it. I'm gonna be
Right.
like, nah, you're good.
So we hadn't even mentioned the most recent ghost story.
Oh yeah,
So we walk in here to shoot this podcast or to record this podcast. Me and Steven walk in the room together, and we haven't been in this room in a week. And 2 of our microphones were laying on the floor, unexplained. Now other people come and go through here, but I don't know if anybody's knocking microphones
Yeah,
off.
I mean,
off
when
the
if you're a spirit, like it's like they're like cats, you know. They just like
They go and
pat
knock,
stuff
go
off.
and
with
knock your
things.
water off
Yeah,
yourself.
no.
just screw with things, be like,
Yeah, why don't you like like throw them open up cabinet doors? It's like, why is that your thing?
Yeah.
Like, are you just like destined to open up
So-
cabinet shelves?
I almost
Something else.
want to end this episode right now so nothing flies across the room.
Well, yeah, that
Dude, if that
this shelf
happens,
in
we're
here.
stopping.
So, another podcast I was listening to this week, they were talking about how spirits or ghosts would be limited, and they think that why they're considered tormented is because they still have human urges of some kind.
So like violent and
Not just that,
Like
but
the Nephilim
like
did.
yes, like the Nephilim would. So they still need to eat. They still feel like they need to drink, but it's not quenchable. So that's why they feel like they need to be
Angry.
in a person.
Yeah.
want to possess and
Because that can satisfy that feeling.
these suckers are probably trying hard.
Yeah.
They're trying hard. They doing everything.
So I think to me that negates the typical ghost of your grandpappy. It's got to be something else.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I land on the whole thing.
It's a safe bet to just be like to just avoid it entirely, to not open yourself up
Yeah.
spiritually. Because like that's, I mean, once it's on you, I mean, it's on you. Like it's affecting
You
everybody.
ain't scrubbing it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shower can't get hot enough.
No.
So this is kind of like one of those subjects that it really don't matter. Like we really don't need to be messing with it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it could, we could experience it. It could be a reality that's not shrouded. But
Think we don't need to go any
it's
further.
better. Yeah, it's better just to
It's
It's
leave
better
that.
to leave it shrouded.
Yeah.
It's better to, even if you have something happen, take Connor's advice.
Yeah.
Just call out and go, hey, man.
try
Hey,
to-
Jesus. Let's,
Try to debunk it.
yeah. Try to debunk it
can.
first of all and be like, well, the air conditioner did just kick on. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why the lights flickered.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
The dishwasher is going.
The dishwasher is running. Maybe that's why I'm out of hot water. I don't know.
Yeah, the spirit's just like twisting a valve.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, if you walk into your hot water heater and you're seeing the thing spinning,
yeah.
then you might want to get
See,
out of your
you
house.
see a little ghost sitting on top of like, hey man.
I don't
Call
think
a
a
priest.
I don't think the plumber's gonna fix it, but yeah. So yeah, don't mess with it. Stay out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm in that world too. Like, there's so many stories out there that something's going on,
Yeah, there's something there.
but I don't think, ancient
Yep.
Civil War veterans are walking around,
Yeah.
messing with things.
Whistling Dixie and
Yeah.
scaring people. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a Trojan horse to just.
Yeah. It's all funny. It's
I
all
think
fun
if
and
you're
games.
seeking it, I think if you're seeking it out, then you're probably gonna find something,
Yeah.
and you probably are gonna regret finding it.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games till you wake up and you're naked and covered in blood.
That's right. Daggone.
Are you speaking from
No,
experience?
I'm just saying it could lead you down a road, you know.
It could.
Yeah.
It really could lead you down a path, and you don't want to open yourself up to that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and the Bible's pretty clear about
Yeah, there's plenty of verses that say, don't.
this.
Yeah.
This isn't a good
You end
world
up
to live
like
in.
Saul, and that's not a good situation.
Mhm.
So
I would let all those experiences just sit back as stories and just move on.
That's right. That's right. This was a fun episode, though.
Yeah.
Scary, but fun.
Yeah.
And when I was telling people about this, our podcast in general, this is kind of where people think we live.
it's really not.
It's
but,
not.
It was a nice break,
I mean,
though.
we got to go into it.
That's
Though.
right.
Yeah.
That's
We got to be there.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll move on to the next episode. Appreciate you listening. For Connor, Steven, and Joey, Ruby, the podcast.
Hey, everybody. Before we leave, go like our Facebook.
Yes.
Go like our Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook, and we're getting on all the platforms right now, so we're excited.
We're about to be on all the platforms.
Yep,
Everybody jump in. Do you know, is it just Shrouded Realities?
ShroudedRealities@gmail.com if you want to pop us an email, and Shrouded Realities Instagram and Facebook.
All right.
Sweet. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, guys.